So my name is Clemens. I'm part of the Global Alliances team in Veeam and more or less doing SAP for my lifetime. So last 20 years I did mainly infrastructure projects on SAP, and now I have Veeam to get closer to the subspace. Just what I want to talk about, a quick overview what Veeam is for those who haven't never heard of Veeam. Then we will talk about our new plugin for SAP HANA and some SAP best practices from our side. And as promised, it's not 2 minutes, but 5, not more. Yeah? Everything else, if you have questions afterwards, come by me and I will answer. But just for the presentation, I get 5 minutes, it should be good enough. So where we are coming from. So Veeam is a data protection company. So it's all about your data, backing up data, and much more important, restore data. So we have started 10 years ago with mainly VMware backup, and all the idea of Veeam was always to do agentless backups. So we fully integrate into any VMware stack, so talk to the vCenter server, take data from there, and in the meantime we do exactly the same for Nutanix HV, for Hyper-V, for all the hyperscalers, for Azure, AWS, IBM Cloud, Google Cloud, you name it. Yeah, we do exactly the same for databases like MS SQL, like HANA. We do this for physical systems, where you have a native Windows system, a native SUSE system, whatever. So for everything in the IT world, I guess we have a solution. So finally, still again, what we are doing, backup of your data, and finally restore of your data. Okay. So one of the important things I always want to acknowledge by our customers is some important things. So first of all, you need of your data at least 3 different data copies. So what does it mean? So finally, backup means you are doing a copy. I really hate this mic, so it's a bad one. So finally, you really need 3 copies at least of your data. So backup is always a copy of your data. So that's quite easy. So we typically create our own file structure, and then the next important thing is put it on any different media. Why? Any ideas? Why is this important? Guess what? Ransom software. We have so many challenges with our customers the last at least 2 years with viruses and ransom software. So if somebody destroys these kind of files, it's hard to destroy a tape. That's one of the things. Yeah? Different media can also be, this is a file system, and this is one of the deduplication appliances which are out in the world. That's also fine. Next thing, put at least 1 copy offsite. Out of your whatever data center, factory, whatever it is, and please, 1 offline. For the same reason, like for the different media, yeah, it can be destroyed by something. That's one important thing I always want to talk about. Doesn't like me. So next thing, what we have done end of last year, we together with SAP, we certified our product to be SAP HANA Backend certified. So SAP HANA Backend is the possibility to do backups of SAP HANA databases. So finally, it's a plug-in, and this is the first time we do not do anything agentless. For backend, there is no way, and by the way, it's exactly the same for our Oracle plugin. You have to install a plugin on the system. And we finally take as data stream from HANA, if somebody starts a backup, and we put all the data into our infrastructure, so in our repositories. So we can do this quite fast. So there's the ability to use multi-streams. There's the ability to do some advanced stuff with this. I will talk about this in a second. But the idea is, with classical backend, you are able to finally save your data on differential, full, incremental level, and you always take care of your log files. What does it mean in the case of a restore? Quite easy. You restore your data to either point in time, to a specific data point, or to the latest data point. So that's the option we have finally with backend. So that's the first thing which is important. So we support backend. You can use it on any physical system, on a VM, on any cloud. This is quite nice and working. Okay. So next one, if you are using backend for SAP HANA, that's quite nice, and that's mainly what all SAP basis people typically use. If you're using SAP HANA Studio, SAP HANA Cockpit, if you want to do something command line scripting, that's all fine. But the challenge is, what happens if you lose data? So first of all, if you do just a drop table. Stupid idea, but sometimes it happens. We are all humans. So with backend, you can fix this. You just restore the database to the point before this happened, and you work from there on. That's one thing. The challenge is, what happens if you are using a configuration item in your global INI of the HANA database? This is not done by any backend backup. What happens if your operating system, in this case, will never happen with SUSE, but what happens if something goes wrong? You apply a patch, and your system does not restart for whatever reason. For their backend does not help you. You need additional Veeam image level backups. We have a lot of technology to support you on this. Could be on a VM environment, could be on a physical environment, but you should do these at least once a week additionally to your normal log backups and to your normal backend backups. There are some more ideas why you should do this, because we can do some more magic things with this, but this is typically also very often used by the infrastructure team, not typical SAP team. This is I will not read through this. This is just what we support. You will get this presentation if you ask for, so I just click on the next one, where we have some other ideas what we are able to do. So I talked about this image backups before, and what you can do on any hypervisor, you can restore any service in 2 minutes. This is quite easy. And how does it work? So technology-wise, we are looking into our backup storage, where we have all your data. We mount this finally as an NFS file system, and finally restart the original VM or the original physical server. That's the idea how instant VM recovery works, or instant recovery at all in the meantime. And even a HANA database, 3 terabyte of size, I can start up the HANA service in 2 minutes. That's a promise. I cannot help you on the load time on HANA, just to ensure this. The load will happen afterwards. So finally, it's like you restart a VM, and this will take about a minute or two until the HANA service starts. This is what we can guarantee in the 2 minutes. But afterwards, I cannot accelerate the load of whatever 1, 2, 3 terabyte into the memory. This is something I'm not responsible of, but I can, especially if you do not talk about HANA, if you talk about Oracle databases, if you talk about your application server. You lost an application server for whatever reason, you updated something went wrong, and you're going back with this application server to the last known state, the service will be ready in 2 minutes. This is what instant recovery can do for you. SUSE backup, same idea. If I can do a restore in 2 minutes, I can also do a restore in a fenced environment. So what does it mean? For an SAP system, for your productive system, I restore each day all your nightly backups from your SAP system, restart the system in a fenced environment, and even can log on into the system and give you a report what was all booking last night or something like this. So that you can ensure you can really restart your database, restart your application server, restart your central instance. So you really ensure that your application is restorable and up and running in this fenced environment. That's the idea of SUSE backup. I just have heard of the name. And there's some more after this. I don't go into this deep. Exactly the same idea what we're doing with SUSE backup. Instead of deleting this after, typically SUSE backup jobs are, you are restoring it, you are testing it, and will be deleted. Instead of deleting the environment, we also have an on-demand sandbox where we also fence the environment and we let the environment for any testing purposes. Like you want to install a new kernel for SAP. You want to install whatever operating system patch. And you have an exact copy of your productive environment. It's not your QA environment where you test this. It's really an exact copy of your productive environment. So you ensure this will also work on your productive environment. I guess that's all what I have on slides. Should just give you some ideas how you can do things easier with backup and recovery. And if you have any question, swing by and ask me.
Can you stick around for a few minutes?
Yeah,
if they have
for
questions,
sure.
Can you come up and ask it one-on-one? That'd be great. In the meantime, let's give a big hand, Clemens, for thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.